We are winning the Conference League. Do not get it twisted. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Two Blues podcast, to another live match reaction. Appreciate everybody that's joining us straight from our first live match watch-along of the season. A convincing win for Chelsea. Look, people thought it was going to be 6-0 before the game, and I said before the game it was not going to be a walk in the park. We were not going to run through these men like we thought we would. But today, second half, excellent. Look, what was I calling for after that Liverpool game? Professionalism, experience, being able to see the game out, being able to kill the game at the right moment. And that is exactly what Chelsea did today. All we need to do now is transfer that from performances against teams like Panathinaikos to teams like Liverpool. We need to transform that, bring that back to the Premier League, that ruthlessness, that professionalism, that ability to just control the game, choose the tempo, whether it needs to be quicker, slower, whatever it needs. The Chelsea team today figured it out. And it may have took us 30 minutes to figure it out. And we've got to give Jorgensen credit for that first save in the first minute, because the game could have been very different. If Panathinaikos go 1-0 up, they could throw the kitchen sink at us. We're already worried. I was not confident before today. You know, looking at Panathinaikos' home form, I think it was 4 or 5 games at home unbeaten. You know, Athens, Greece, tough place to go to. You know, it's going to be a good atmosphere. You know, they're going to be a tough team, good defenders, physical team. But the way they were hitting the fucking floor like sacks of potatoes, this team did not live up to the expectations that I had for them, Panathinaikos. I think Chelsea probably could have dispatched them a little bit earlier. And I think the quality today, I think it was Glenn Hoddle said in the second half, you can really tell that the moments of quality, you know, that Chelsea have just shown where they are levels above Panathinaikos. And I think I hear that. I could see that. You know, when players like João Felix are getting on the ball, João Felix makes football look effortless. And I was watching, it was an interview of Dimitar Berbatov talking about what influenced him as a football player and his style of play. And he was talking about Japanese kung fu movies, how they moved effortlessly, you know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That sort of gracious, elegant movement, João Felix encapsulates. João Felix, he is so good. And I spoke about this probably out of the 2 hours that I was on a live match watch along. I probably spoke about João Felix for about an hour of it. Man of the match today, João Felix, hands down. I don't care that Mudryk got 2 assists and a goal. Fair play to Mudryk, well played. Buddy Ashil as well, another honourable mention. I thought he was very, very good in the centre of defence today. But João Felix, the intelligence, the spatial, the positional awareness he has for that first goal. And I'm just going to repeat what I said in the live match watch along. All it took for that first goal from João Felix was 2 touches, a little flick on, and then a first time side foot finish, which any Sunday League player, you put in those positions, I think any average Sunday League player could flick that ball on and could finish that goal. Not any average Sunday League player could get in those positions, could make the move happen. It was the spatial awareness, the way that he pulled the defender out, created the space for Mudryk, and before the defender knew that he shouldn't have got sucked in, before he knew he got baited, Felix had already sent him packing. He already knew it was over. Mudryk was already in. And then all João Felix has to do is wait for the players to get sucked into the ball, hold his run. His timing. How many times have we seen João Felix take an extra step, take an extra second to get that first time finish perfect? He is the guy we want in the right place at the right time. And if there is anybody in this squad that is going to find the right place at the right time, it is going to be João Felix. I cannot believe that I was seeing reports this week that João Felix was a £50 million flop. People were digging into the fact that he wasn't happy that he didn't come off the bench against Nottingham Forest. Shut up. If you do not know what is going on at our club, do not comment on our club. And anybody saying that João Felix is a £50 million flop clearly has no idea what's going on at our club. Because you ask any Chelsea fan, I'm sure there are some Chelsea fans out there that don't rate João Felix, that don't think he is all that. But you ask any Chelsea fan whether they dislike João Felix, whether he's ever given them a reason to dislike him, the answer is no, bruv. We all love João Felix. We think he is an excellent technical, creative player. Off the ball, he works hard. Off the pitch, he doesn't whinge. He knows exactly what he was coming into in this situation. All he wanted was a place that he could go home and play football. Prove to us that he is worth 113 million or whatever it was that Benfica spent on him at 19 years old. And that is the reason he is getting dubbed a flop. What he is doing at Chelsea is fantastic. I don't understand how he's still carrying this label from Barcelona, from Atletico Madrid, from Benfica. He's nowhere near that player, man. At Chelsea, he's a different player. Today, he was in the 9, he was in the 10, and Kunku was dropping a bit deeper, letting Felix take that number 9 role. He is the perfect example, similar to Cole Palmer, the perfect example of a player that has a best position, but realistically can offer you different things from different areas. And I think João Felix, great option as a number 9. Great option as a number 10. And I also think he could play off either side or as a second striker off the side, as Nkunku was doing today. I think he is so fluid, so adaptable, so versatile, so flexible. And I think some of the passes that he was picking in that first half, I'd like to see him in a deeper role. I would really, really like, and I think Enzo played well today. I think Enzo gave a good performance, good account, particularly with no Caicedo, with no Lavia, and Dewsbury Hall certainly did not help Enzo Fernandez today. But I would like to see João Felix dropped a little bit deeper, not quite into the 8. I'd still call it a 10. I'd still give him an attacking, creative free license, whatever you want to call it. But I would love to see João Felix dropped a little bit deeper. Some of the passes today, the vision, the eye, threading the needle, man. There are not many players in this Chelsea squad that can do that. And João Felix, he can pick a pass, whether it's a 20-yard pass, whether it's a 50-yard pass. Some of the pinpoint passes out to Pedro Neto in that first half. Unbelievable. I think that this guy has an eye for not just an eye for goal, he's got an eye for a pass. But I was saying it in the live match Watchalong. What can João Felix not do? He can pass, he can shoot, he can dribble. He brings other people into play. He's a great finisher. He can be a poacher. He's fairly tall, so he can be a target man. He's very, very good at dribbling, so he can play on the wide. He's agile, not afraid to beat a man, fantastic touch. He can play out wide or off the side, off a striker. I genuinely do not think from an attacking perspective, there is anything that João Felix cannot do. And this is the thing that I'm looking at this team and saying, hang on a minute, we've got fucking players here. We've got on our bench, we've got a £113 million wonder kid who was golden boy at one stage. He was tipped for Ballon d'Or at Benfica, at Barcelona, whatever it was. And yeah, I think he has so much to give us, mainly because he has accepted this kind of backseat role. And João Felix is not unhappy, I don't think, at the minutes he's getting. Because let's be honest, regardless of whether it's in cup competitions or leagues, he's getting more minutes and more opportunities at Chelsea than he was at any other club in the last 5 years. We're treating him better. We love him. The fans have songs for him. We revere this guy. His ability is second to none. And the intelligence he showed today, the positioning and spatial awareness, I think he is the one that's made the biggest leap in terms of pushing for a starting spot. I think Mudryk, you can argue. I think Mudryk had a fantastic game today, really, really effective when it counted. Aside from the involvement and the goal contributions, I don't really think he did too much. Whereas João Felix was involved in all aspects of the game, dictating play, the center of the attacks, everything went through him. And I feel like when it does, we are such an attractive team. And we really did have that hit them on the break, sort of that hit them where it hurts. We can let them do what they want for 30, 40 minutes, but we know where our strengths lie, which is exactly the opposite of what it was at the weekend, which is exactly what Liverpool did to us. Was they played to their strengths, they waited until with that little lull in possession, that switch of momentum, and then they capitalized, they pressed, they put us under pressure, and they knew we wouldn't be able to deal with it, with the inexperience, with the naivety. And obviously we had little bits of that tonight, the goal, the miscommunication between Jorgensen and Badiashile on that corner, just very minor errors. But I'd say Jorgensen, again, another stride ahead of Robert Sanchez. He's continually pushing, and he gives me no reason to not be a number one. Robert Sanchez gives me reason to not be number one with his distribution, with the way that he makes my fucking butt cheeks clench when he gets the ball. I am fucking holding on to these chair arms with dear life whenever Robert Sanchez gets the ball. But when Jorgensen gets the ball, I'm calm, I'm collected. I don't have any fear. I know he's going to be able to get out of it. Whether it's going to be a short pass or whether he's just going to fucking hoof it, I don't care. Jorgensen I feel secure, safe with him at the back. Robert Sanchez, I feel, is a liability to this Chelsea team, the defense. Yeah, I feel like he's the kind of player, I've said it before, he's a confidence-driven player. I feel like he's the kind of player that when he makes one mistake, it all goes to pot. He loses his head, the game's gone. Whereas Jorgensen can collect himself. I feel like Jorgensen has not shown me anything negative in these games. And you know what? We're going to go for, as I said we would do in the live match watch along. I am going to go through the FOTMob and just kind of compare their stats. Now, well, on the final whistle, it's all gone green. Disasi was definitely orange. Jorgensen was orange. Vega was orange. Cucurella is the only player that's orange. Somehow Dewsbury Hall, when he got taken off, was 6.8, and now he's 7.1. Not sure how he managed to wangle that rating. But Mudryk has been given man of the match, or the highest rating by FOTMob, 9.1. Felix close on 9. Jorgensen on 7.4. But let's just compare. So Jorgensen today, 2 saves, accurate passes. Ooh, 38 out of 40, so 95% accurate passes. 1 diving save, 0 accurate long balls. I'm not very happy about that. Obviously need better long distribution, but 95% accurate passes is pretty solid. 1 punch, 5 throws, 1 high claim, 6 recoveries, 49 touches. Let's have a quick comparison. Who was it? Chelsea, Liverpool, FOTMob. Let's have a quick comparison to Robert Sanchez's game at the weekend. Robert Sanchez collected a 6.6 rating. Not bad for conceding 2 goals. So he prevented an XG of 0.01 compared to Jorgensen's XG of 0.59 today. I don't really like XG, so let's just move on from that very swiftly. Accurate passes, 29 out of 36, 81%. He misplaced 7 passes. Jorgensen made more and misplaced only 2 passes. Robert Sanchez, accurate long balls, 4 out of 9, 44%. So, yeah, I mean, hard to judge because if Jorgensen had made that many, he'd still be on 0%. But hard to compare that. But Park's inaccuracy, chalk and cheese, 95% to 81%. Crazy. Right, act as a sweeper. This is Robert Sanchez at the weekend. 1. Punches, 0. High claims, 0. Recoveries, 14. Touches, 47. Similar amount of touches, 49. Recoveries, 6 to Robert Sanchez's 14. Does that mean, is that pro Jorgensen because he's had to recover less? I think it is, but I don't know. 1 high claim and 1 punch, whereas Sanchez, 0 high claims, 0 punches. See, every time I go through, and I've said time and again, I'm an eye test guy, I'm not a stat guy. Every time I go through a deeper level, there's more and more to be uncovered about Robert Sanchez that I just fucking hate. I do not like this guy. Stresses me out. You're right there, JC. Can I help you, big man? Are you chatting to, bruv? Who do you think you are, bruv? Gotta love the so-called B team. Listen, man, it's coming together. It's coming together. And as I said, look, I would have wanted, I said kind of without thinking, I would have wanted this performance to be a little bit more harmonious from the start. I think in the first half, we were a little bit more disjointed than I would have liked. We didn't settle in as quickly, but how often do Chelsea kill off a game? How often do we play as professionally as we did in the second half? We played to our strengths. We waited for the crucial moments, and we let our quality show in those moments. The only thing that I'd complain about today is Tyreek George not getting a goal and not getting a clean sheet, actually. Pissed me off that we didn't get a clean sheet because we should have. I know Panathinaikos, good side, won 4-5 in a row at home. We should have kept a clean sheet today. And it has frustrated me that we have conceded. However, I've just run through those stats very quickly. Is anybody Sanchez over Jorgensen? Please, if you are, let me know. I will contribute to your rehabilitation, your mental health facilities, whatever it is. Anybody on this planet, Sanchez over Jorgensen, other than Enzo Maresca, because this geezer clearly has half of his tongue lodged firmly up Sanchez's rimhole, or vice versa. I do not understand how he continually gets picked over Jorgensen. I don't understand. If it does again, look, I think Jorgensen is one solid performance away, got to be one solid performance away from getting into the first team. I think anybody else, can anybody disagree with me on what they feel about Robert Sanchez? And it is like 9 times out of 10, he might do the right thing, but it's when the ball goes to him, I clench up. I'm not safe. I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel like he's safe hands. Whereas Jorgensen, I feel like improves and I feel like is growing with this team. And maybe that's what we need. You know, we need him to grow with this second team. I don't really know what is the best. All I know is, and I said it in Loan Watch earlier this week, if I'm Djordje Petrovic, I'm pissed off because I think Djordje Petrovic deserves to be in this team above Robert Sanchez. I don't, I don't know. There must be something going on behind the scenes. There is no way that Robert Sanchez is doing what he's doing in front of us behind the scenes as well, and he's getting all this public praise from Enzo Maresca. But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see, whether he's asked about it in his press conference. Actually, you know what? Let's just quickly get this in here because I didn't get this in on the loan talk and I haven't done a short on it yet. I probably won't do a short on it because tonight's will obviously be about João Felix and Mykhailo Mudryk. But Josh Achimpong, what do we all make of the Josh Achimpong situation? Now, as far as I'm aware, he's been told by Chelsea he's not going to play until he signed this new contract. Enzo Maresca was fairly, I was going to say ambiguous about it in his press conference when he was asked yesterday, but he wasn't. He was very straightforward. And he said, look, we want him to be part of the team. We want him to sign the new contract. I don't know whether he has people around him that are giving him the wrong advice, but this situation, this contract situation for him is bad, which is not wrong. If he's currently contracted to a club, but he's not playing and he's got no look in and he's running his contract down, that's a bad situation for anybody involved, particularly for a youth player. And all I can imagine is he has not got assurances on his position or progression. But at the same time, I'm sitting here thinking, what assurances can you be given? Because if I'm Josh Achimpong and I sit in a meeting room with Bodie, Clearlake, Maresca, whatever, and they're sitting there saying, yeah, you'll get game time. I'm sitting there thinking, brother, I've got Malo Gusto and Reece James ahead of me. Whatever you say ain't going to change that. Josh Achimpong is going to have to change. If he's not happy with the line of progression with Gusto and James in front of him, he's going to have to start playing centre-back, right centre-back, maybe left-back, invert into centre midfield. He's going to have to do something to outdo these players. You can't look at someone that's better at your job than you and go, yeah, I'm not happy with that. I don't like, yeah, no, I'm going to leave. Fuck off then. Look, I love Achimpong. I would love him to stay. I really, really think he's a fantastic player. I said I wanted more minutes from him in pre-season. Him and George, I want him to be playing every single conference game. I think Achimpong is a fantastic player. But if you're 19 years old and he might even be younger than that, 18 years old, and you're holding the club hostage over your contract. Look, I do not know the full facts. I do not know what has gone on behind the scenes. I can't imagine there's much else on the table other than, look, Chelsea have put a contract on the table and said, you sign this. Achimpong says, I want to know that I'm playing. Chelsea say, unfortunately, we can't guarantee that. No one can guarantee you're going to play, particularly not with Malo Gusto and Reece James ahead of you. So for Achimpong to be, he's not holding the cards here. Listen, Chelsea don't want to let him go to a team like Real Madrid. But if Achimpong thinks that he's holding the cards, he's wrong. You can go on a free transfer to someone else, bruv. If you're going to think that you're going to try and pull a power move over us, again, if that's not the situation, I've misspoken, I'm out of turn. But end of the day, to make everybody happy, including the fans, I think the fans would be very upset if Achimpong left. I think we've got to give him the contract. There's got to be some sort of compromise in there. Whether it's giving him a little bit more spondoolies. The only thing that we can't give him is guarantees because if you don't want to compete with the best, this club ain't for you. It's always been that way, even with the youngsters, even when we've had transfer embargoes, whether it's been Roman or not, it's always been you compete with the best. If you don't do your job to the best of your ability, there is no room for error in this Chelsea squad. You can get tossed to the side. We don't need you. You need us. We pay you. You are employed by us. So listen, I hear him. I hear every young player that wants a path for progression. But this is where you've got to go out and prove yourself, like Tyreek George tonight. Neto didn't take his man on once. So Tyreek George said, fuck that, bro. I'm coming on for half an hour. I'm taking my man on every single time and I'm getting a shot or cross away. And that, I think, is what Enzo Maresca will like. And that is why I think Tyreek George will get more game time and get more minutes, because he's hungry. He wants to go out and score. Listen, it's a situation that I hope gets resolved very, very soon. And hopefully I will be able to cover it a little bit more in next week's Academy Watch, which I will be bringing back and going into a bit more detail on David Washington, Harvey Vale, Donald McNeely, and the touch. But yeah, I've been streaming 2.5 hours now. So you know what? If you want to watch more of my reaction, go and watch the live match watch-along that streamed a couple of hours ago on Two Blues podcast. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Obviously, comfortable win for Chelsea. João Felix, man of the match. I thought Mudryk, fantastic performance, and great to see him back on the score sheet and getting assists as well. 3 goal contributions today will do him the world of good. But Benoit Badiashile as well. I thought Benoit Badiashile was the standout in that back line. I thought he was pretty solid when he came on against Liverpool. I know a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, I want to see this Badiashile, getting in your face Badiashile. I don't think he blew me away against Liverpool. I think he was still a little bit stuck out like a bit of a sore thumb in that defence, to be honest. But today, I think he looked calm, he looked assured, he looked confident, he looked in control of the ball. His passing was excellent. He looked like the pre-knee injury Badiashile. He looked like the Badiashile that signed for Chelsea, that joined Chelsea and started absolutely fantastically. When he first joined Chelsea, I thought he was a brilliant player, and I long maintained that he should be our first choice centre-back alongside Levi Colwill. I give a fuck that they're both left-footed. I think if you're good enough as a footballer, you can use either foot. And having 2 left-footed centre-backs is no different from having 2 right-footed centre-backs, which you used to get back in the day. And I had no problem with that. So why people have got a problem with 2 left-footed centre-backs? And look, if Badiashile keeps pushing and keeps putting in these performances, he's still got time on his side. He's still 22 years old. Wes Fofana has not done enough to stamp his mark down and be the first choice centre-back. Yes, him and Levi Colwill are building a good, solid relationship at the back, but he hasn't done enough to solidify himself as the centre-back as Levi Colwill has. Adarabioyo is still in the mix. Disasi still somewhat in the mix, although Disasi seems to be our kind of utilitarian defender at the moment, playing at right back or, right centre-back when we need him. But Adarabioyo, Badiashile, Fofana, the position is still up for grabs, that right centre-back. And listen, man, Levi Colwill can do that right side. If Badiashile wants to come in on the left, I've got no problem with that. But all I want is consistency. I think centre-back positions are, 2 positions along with the goalkeeper that should never change. Ideally, your back 4 should remain the same. Your centre mids should be the same. But that core, the middle, 2 centre-backs and a goalkeeper should never change. And if we can nail down a first choice starting centre-back pair by the end of the season, I'll be very, very happy. Whether that's Colwill and Fofana, whether that's Colwill and Badiashile, whether that's Colwill and Adarabioyo, I do not know. Colwill will be in there, future club captain, future England captain. It will just be interesting to see which other centre-back makes the cut. But yeah, let me know. Let me know who your favourite centre-back pairing is. Let me know who you think should be playing alongside Levi Colwill. Let me know how you think Badiashile did tonight. And also, let me know who your man of the match was. Felix, Mudryk, Badiashile. Who did you rate tonight? Appreciate everybody joining in. JC, Bassett, everybody on the previous stream as well. Dylan. If I'm forgetting anybody, apologise. But yeah, shout out you, man. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Obviously, C Money Picks will be sending me, fingers crossed, an episode tonight, maybe tomorrow. Latest episode of Chopping It Up with Charms will be tomorrow night, and no doubt he will be commenting on João Felix or Mykhailo Mudryk on tonight's game, along with a lot of the rest of the news from the footballing world this week. So yeah, make sure you stay plugged in. Someone's letting off a whap. Someone's firing fireworks outside the gaff. Easy. It's only Panathinaikos, lads. I don't think we need fireworks, but I hear you, man. We're winning the Conference League still. But yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, at Two Blues Podcast on the Instagram, on the TikTok. I'm going right into filming my short, and then I'll be posting that on TikTok as soon as it's edited. So yeah, make sure you follow at Two Blues Podcast on the Instagram and the TikTok. But this is the most important place. Mr. C Money Picks will be dropping his Chopping It Up with Charms tomorrow. Maybe back with a stream for you on Saturday. Might have a day off if I'm feeling generous to myself. But Sunday, Newcastle Chelsea back in Premier League action. I'll be bringing you another live match reaction for that. Maybe a live match watch along, but probably just a live match reaction for that. Guys, let me know as well what you think. If you get a chance to watch the live match reaction, live match watch along, sorry, let me know if you want more. If you want me to do more live match watch alongs, put it in the comments, man. If not, I can just stick to the live match reactions. You lot tell me what you're feeling, and I'm more than happy to keep the content coming. But regardless, there will be a new video dropping tomorrow. There will be a new short tonight, and there will be a new live stream on Sunday. Turn your notifications on at 2 Blues Podcast. Be